What's up, everyone? What's going on? Lil Moore here with Saturday Cup of Joe. We're going to have a great time today. I've brought on a great guest, a friend. But before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened this week and what's going on in the industry, something you might have missed. And I don't know what's going on in the industry this week because I've been busy, okay? So I'm sure that you shouldn't know either because you should be busy as well doing whatever you're doing. But I'd like to thank you guys for jumping on here today. And I hope this week is 10 times better than last week. And remember, I always like to say Christmas is coming up. Christmas is coming up. And if you have not done what you should have done last year, at this time, that it's time to do it right now. And today, hopefully, we're going to shed some light on you, especially you local marketers out there who are trying to build your business, trying to get your audience better, trying to get more calls in your business. These are the things that we've all been trying to acquire since we started from day one. So, open up your mind, take notes. I always say note takers are money makers. But after you take your notes, action takers rule the world. Would you believe that? That's right. So with that being said, I'd like to bring on a great, and I'm not trying to pump you up too much, brother, but a great, outstanding marketer. This guy's been in the industry for a very, very long time now. I met this gentleman about maybe 3 years ago. I don't remember. I can't keep. I met him at one of my first events, my first marketing events. And ever since then, we've been keeping in touch. But hey, when I need a go-to guy and I need something for my business, I'm like, hey, help me out. He's always there, digging me out of my hole. So with that being said, I'd like to bring on my awesome, amazing friend, my AKA homeboy, Gaurav Duggal. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Doing all right here. Just kind of waking up. How are you doing?
As he said, he's waking up, guys, and I'm sure you know why, because it's early when I do the Cup of Joe, and that's where it is. Say, somebody said I'm looking sharp with this tie, Hey, it's all good. Thank you. Anyway, where are you calling from, my man? Are you calling from Gaurav? Are you there?
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, where are you calling from?
Oh, Calgary, Canada.
Calgary, Canada. Now, see?
Yep.
Here we go, folks. Another Canadian. We were just talking about how great and smart these Canadian guys are. You guys are amazing, and that's good, man. I'm glad you're reaching out from Canada and all that. So you've been doing some amazing things with your business, and I've been kind of keeping tabs on you because I'm like, hey, what's up? Can you do this? Can I have that? What are you doing with this? What are you doing with that? Do you have this type of farm? I bet he's like, let me go away. But this is how I find out good people in the industry. And I'm like, I got to take my hat off to you, man. I really appreciate everything you've done for me because you don't realize how much you've helped me in my business. And I try not to bring out people in my inner circle because I really don't want them to know who they are. For various reasons. But, tell me, how did you start marketing, man? How did you get into marketing?
Wow. Jeez, that was
Wow.
Well, it's gonna belie my age here, but I started I guess in 2002, just fresh out of high school, getting into technical college, and then saw an ad on Craigslist, of all places. Oh. One of them old, cheesy, do you want to make money at home kind of ads.
Oh, right.
I'm like, yeah, I'm working at a gas station. I want to make money at home. I don't know if I can work here all day long. I'll buy this course.
Right.
It was Sean Casey, actually, back in the day.
Oh, I know that name. That name.
He's got the granddaddy. So, yeah, I picked up one of his courses and started tearing through there. Got calls from his little Shark Tank there. Upgraded me to a coaching program, the whole shebang. And Started my agency part-time, I guess, in '03, '04, depending how you look at it.
Right.
And been doing it ever since.
Nice. Very nice. Now, this was in high school, you said?
This is between high school and college, I guess. Yeah.
So you basically got into in that between time. You're like, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? You know, and
Yeah, pretty much.
Things, right?
Yeah, I dropped out of my technical college because I couldn't stand programming, and I figured I got to do something in my life, and there you go.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, I think a lot of people have that same dilemma. I don't know if they start that early, but sometimes they go through the college and then all of a sudden they get out of college and they're like, why'd I go to college for this? You know, this is not what I want to do. You know, they didn't plan correctly. So it's one of those deals. You kind of have one of those, clarities. You're like, oh, this is not it. Well, that's great, man. What high school did you attend? I know that's probably something that people don't want to know, but I always like to ask this question. What was your high school like? Because, in high school, I believe we developed that wanting to do something in life more. It depends on what kind of friends you're around, So I always ask that question. How was your high school life?
High school was kind of a mix because half of my high school was in India and half of it was out here in Calgary.
Right.
And so they were both like vastly different. I mean, India was like, if you've seen Harry Potter, that was my high school.
Yeah, I've seen it around.
Yeah, pretty much. We got uniforms and marching drills and like horse riding club and all that crazy shit, So
really, are you serious? Wow.
Yeah, that was high school in India, but I got here and it was pretty good. I was surrounded by a lot of nerds mostly, and
good, always good, always good.
Little nerdy in a circle. We used to do a lot of programming and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it was pretty sweet.
I surround myself with nerds all the time, and then all of a sudden I realize I don't know what the heck they're talking about. And then I get myself in trouble because I start going, now what does that word mean again? They're like, really, Lim?
Impossible.
And they're talking about this funnel set and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, time out. You lost me at the website. What? So, yeah, man, that's good, man, that you surrounded yourself with some nerds. So now that tells me that you had guys back then that were actually doing big things before leaving high school, and you saw that. And so by being with them, you kind of grasp, well, there's something bigger out there, which is good, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely influenced me to a large degree. I figured I could manipulate a computer well enough. So, yeah,
right.
We'll try, right?
Man, let me ask you this: how big is the internet? Let's let everyone know how big the internet is and making money from the internet. Let's go from there.
Man, the internet is huge, man. And just to give you a small example of the some of the markets that are out there that you can actually tap into. I hadn't been back in a while, but I went back to India last was it October, November, something like that. And we think that everybody here is connected to the internet and it's a big thing and all that kind of stuff. Out there, it is freaking bananas.
Really?
It is nuts, dude. Every single person, it's like a 90% plus cell phone penetration rate in the country of 1.2 billion people.
Right.
And everybody has a freaking internet connection out there on their phone, on their tablet. You can pay. Over there, I can take a ride from like you see those rickshaws that, people kind of pedal them around. You can take a rickshaw on your mobile phone. And
what?
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's the kind of penetration that some of these countries have and people are really excited in some of these developing countries to be able to tap into resources that we've got here and then look up to the West or whatever you want to call it, and they look up to marketers here as I want to learn from you, I want to actually do stuff. So that's one of the biggest realizations that came to me. And hell, going there, talking to about 14 businesses in about 2 days, I got 14 yeses. In fact, not only did I not get 14 yeses, they actually pushed themselves on me because they really, really wanted my help. Like I just went there, told them what I did as a matter of conversation. They're like, "Can you please help me?"
Oh my goodness. You know, that's funny. I had a deep conversation with one of my team members just the other day, and he was talking about some real well-known guy on podcasts. And the reason why he kept doing these podcasts is because there were people from different countries that was listening to him on their phone worldwide and contacted him and wanted help in his business because they respected people in the United States that were actually doing stuff like this, you know, and they were really needing help. I could not believe that. And now that you just said that, it totally just brings me back to home now with that. Wow.
Yeah, man, it's pretty incredible. So that's the internet. I mean, there's nowhere that you can't reach, especially with a service-based business like this. I mean, you can. I've got clients in Australia. I've got clients in India and Japan. I've got clients in the States, naturally, in Canada. I
Right.
mean, it doesn't really matter where they are. You can provide them the service. They'll gladly pay for it.
That's amazing. So I guess really in our minds, since we know, like I know you know, like 50 other people, I know 50 other people who's doing marketing. Some of us doing the similar things, but to be honest with you, there really is no competition, is there?
There isn't at all, man. I mean, yeah, if you want to stick to your small little backyard, maybe you'll run into a few people, but widen your scope a little bit, and hell, I mean,
Right?
there's people, like I said, there are people throwing themselves at you for help because they recognize the need, and it's not saturated. I mean, there's nobody talking to them about this stuff.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you're joining us for Saturday Cup of Joe. If you want to go check out our previous shows, you can go to SaturdayCupofJoe.com. We're talking with Gaurav Duggal, a marketing expert in the industry. He's here in Canada, and as you heard, he has clients in Australia, all over the world. I mean, this is amazing. On the topic of here, we're just kind of sitting back, relaxed, and we're going to just talk about the things that we've learned in the past. And I met him at a breakout event like maybe 3 years ago. I don't know, maybe 2015 now. I don't know, but it was a great event for me. It opened up my eyes to what the possibilities were. And now being this so many years back now past, it's like, dude, here we are. We're like still doing this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, being at that event, what did that event do for you actually? When you were there, I know we had a lot to take home because it was a pretty damn good event, you know.
It was huge, man. I mean, seriously, that was one of the best events I've ever been to. But yeah, I mean, being at that event, besides the fact that this is a really lonely business, or it can be really
Yes,
lonely.
it can be. Yes, you're right.
You walk into an event like that, there's, I don't know, about 200 people there that you could actually sit down and talk to and wanted to talk to you, and you realize that, hey, yeah, there's people out there doing this, and instead of viewing them as competition, view them as peers, like in any other business, man. Like, you've got groups out there that help each other, and that's what that did to me is forming those relationships with people like you. I mean, just getting to know the right type of people, being able to do chats like this, and just talking to you, 2 weeks ago, I've started a coaching program just because of that. I mean, that's pretty decent, right?
Yep. It's good because like I said, I call out to you for my help because there are some things that I'm not doing. I know you're doing. I'm like, dude, I need some help with this, and it's awesome that we can collaborate like that, without even without any issues. And it is a lonely business, That's why I reach out to people because I might not know. Heck, you might not know, but then we might find out together, So it's great that that we can reach out to each other and people in the industry per se and do what we do. That's true, man. And that event was an eye opener for me, definitely. And it was good. I was glad to meet all the people that I met at that event, and that's weird that I still keep up with those people.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how long have you been in business? Let's talk about Reach Nexus. Let's talk about your business.
Reach Nexus as an entity has only been around since 2008. When I say only, I guess it's still a fair bit of time.
Right.
Uh,
That is.
I've been in business as a consultant for about 12 years.
Right.
But yeah, this entity I formed in 2008 initially with a business partner named John. He moved on to a different company, and then my brother came in and he kind of invested and joined, and we grew it from there. So
Wow.
yeah, we started that. Started off as more of a your standard agency. We'll do websites for you. We'll do SEO. We'll do we had at one point we had 110 services. It was pretty bananas.
110
Yeah,
services.
that's when I look back. I'm like, I need to scale this thing back.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can't even think of 20 services to provide for. Wow, 110, dude.
that's where we got up to at a certain point, and I realized that the biggest complaint that people have is, or not complaint, but the biggest issue I had was, you can provide SEO, you can provide these piecemeal services, but unless you have control over the entire process, and I mean end-to-end control from setting up, capturing leads, bringing them in, nurturing them, and actually putting them into a proper follow-up sequence for a client and being able to monitor and control the entire flow,
Right.
you're never going to get the results you could otherwise.
Right.
Right, and that's what it finally came down to. I'm like, yeah, I've got these 100 things going on, and yeah, it helps. Maybe somebody got, first page on Google, hooray! That's not enough. So people land on your front page. Now what? What did I?
Exactly.
Yeah, what did I do to help them capture those leads? How have I optimized their copy? What have I actually done to put a system in place that helps them scale and grow? It's not enough anymore to just say, yeah, I do website design, or I do this, or I do small little stuff. You've got to put it together in a system that works.
Wow. That is, and you say it's like a customer problem. I really do believe that it is a customer problem, not your own, or you found a solution, but you got to think about it. Most customers want calls, and they want people to come to their website, but if their website is not converting, then it's just a waste of time,
Yep.
and sometimes they don't care. They're like, I just want so many targeted traffic on my site. I'm like, okay, but your site doesn't look right. And you're not, there's a lot of things I asked them. I'm like, first of all, are you collecting IP addresses? When people hit your site, are you collecting anything like that? Are you collecting any type of building a list from the site, things like that? And you will not believe 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, no, we're not doing that.
Absolutely. They've got no system in place. I mean, think about it. If you're selling cars and I walked into your car showroom tomorrow and I'm a 50-year-old guy, you're going to sell to me very differently than if a 20-year-old girl or a 27-year-old college graduate walked into your showroom. You're going to have a very different sales process, a different follow-up, a different sales pitch. But 90% of websites, you go up there and they're saying the same generic thing to a wide range of people. So unless you're having that one-to-one conversation, and that's what it has to be. So it's got to be as close to having that one-to-one relationship,
Right.
then you're not going to convert them. And if you're spending time or money bringing people to your property, you better bloody make sure they're actually taking the action you want. Otherwise, why the hell are you doing it?
Yes, it doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. And sometimes when you're talking to these, people with service or business owners, sometimes it's hard to get them to think outside the box. They're so used to just having a website and people just coming on their page and buying. Those days are no longer. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. And they got to understand their competition has changed the game. And that's the reason why you might be on the first page in the first 2 spots. But if your website's not converting, they're going on down to the person who's doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, wow, that's impressive. So let's do something here real quick. I know you used to build websites. Are you doing any SEO right now as well?
If I do SEO or if we do any of that kind of stuff, it's always in context of, what you could call it a marketing funnel or a sales funnel. It has to be part of a process and it has to make sense. I will
Right.
not do anything unless it's part of the process.
Wow. So tell us a little bit how you are getting skin in the game on this, if you don't mind. When you are building, when you're going to these clients and you're trying to, you're helping them out because you're truly helping them out what you're doing. Can we talk about that? I mean, is this something we're okay talking about?
That's fine. Yeah, that's something that I think that kind of really sets what we're doing apart. I mean, that's a reason why this works the way as well as it does, because number one, we don't deal with non-established or lower end clients anymore, just because of the fact that they're not willing or they can't afford to be able to get into the game anymore. They just can't.
Right.
And they're too freaking late, and that's their fault. I've been talking about it for years. They don't listen. Too bad.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, it's a bit harsh, but um, so once we pre-qualify them, and that's a whole different game. But once you get to the right type of client, it's really simple. We go to them and we give them three options, right? We can either coach you, teach you how to do it, right? So we can sit here and draw out and map out your entire sales funnel, and we charge for it. It's not a free session. Usually costs are about $2,000 to $5,000 to just map out the funnel. It takes us about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours of work sitting down with them, right? Once they've got that diagram and the flow in their hands, they can go to their designer, they can go to whoever they want and get it done. Pretty much nobody ever does that, right? Because they look at it and they're like, what am I supposed to do with this? Well, this is why I'm here, right? This is why it's complicated. So option number two.
Time out. Let's stop right there. Yeah. That was a good point there. You map out a funnel. So you have a funnel in hand, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Doug. Anyway, you have a map in your hand. And so you're talking to them. You have something to literally give them, physically give to them, to look at and say, this is what you need to do.
Yep.
That is a perfect point there, my friend. And I'm going to tell you guys why out there, because normally you're going in, you're trying to pitch your services, and you have nothing else to give them just in case they say no. But when you have a formula written out for this business owner, showing them where they fail and where they can succeed, and if they don't like what you have to say, but if they see on paper that you've got your stuff together, then you say, here you go. This is the cost for this. I love it. All right, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it does start with a bit of an audit as well. Yeah, the first 20, 30 minutes is a full, like a 30-point audit that we do. It scores them, and they look at their score, and they're usually like, I got a 2 out of 40? What? Okay, I'm missing these things. Tell me more about it. So we give them the option, all right, we can map it out for you. That's 5 Gs. We can either then, the other part is we can build it, and we can also program it for you. So, I mean, put it all together technically, right? So put all the landing pages together, put the copy together, put the email sequences together, so it's kind of like you build it and you implement it as well. And that usually, it starts at 10 Gs, it goes up to 50, maybe 100,000. It just depends on the complexity of the funnel. Right. And that's kind of the first two options. But where most businesses fall is option number 3. That's where, okay, we've built it, we put it together. Now we're going to maintain it for you. By maintaining it, that means we're actually going to optimize this funnel for you. We're going to run your ads. We're going to optimize the copy. We're going to A/B split test. We're going to do every single thing that we need to do to make sure that we're targeting every market segment that you possibly could need, and we're converting all of them. And then once we start to see a positive return from that, and we charge for this optimization regardless. Like it starts at about $2,000 for optimization costs per funnel. Right. And from there, we start implementing a royalty fee. Okay, that is a 5 to 15% of increase of profits based on the work that we're doing. So if a business is making $100,000 today, and because of what we did, you're making $1 million next year, we get 10 to 15% of that $900,000 increase forever.
Wow. Now, are you charging $2,000 for the funnel itself, or depending on the the not the funnel, but the diagram of the funnel? What is your price points on that? Not that really matters, because that's a different industry for different people who you're going out. But what do you normally charge for that?
The initial diagram is, like I said, anywhere between the lowest end is $2,000, but usually around $5,000.
Good.
You diagram it out because it takes a while to sit there and actually. You got to realize you're giving somebody a marketing business plan. Like, you're literally giving somebody their business, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Cheap service. If they wanted to go out there and hire a marketing professional, they're going to be paying that $5,000 every month minimum for a shitty marketing professional, really, at that rate even. So yeah, $5,000 to get a full business map is nothing, right? So that's just your basic thing.
I got a quick question there. How do you measure the results?
Well, once you get into, let's say we've done the entire thing, we're now in the maintenance and the royalty phase. It depends on if it's a physical business or digital. If it's digital, obviously that's super easy, because if it's e-commerce, you can tag everything, you can affiliate tag it, you can do whatever you need to do to be able to say, yeah, everything that came from our efforts, you made this much, this is our cut. If it's a physical business, usually we just look at a percentage of increase in revenue. That's it. We look at, okay, we usually make sure they aren't doing a heck of a lot outside of what we're doing, because we need to be able to control for what we're actually doing from a marketing perspective. We take over the entire thing. And so generally speaking, they'll come back after a month and say, yeah, okay, month over month, we're up 30%. Here's your cut. And that's it.
Nice. Now, let's rewind, because that question shouldn't have been asked right there. Let's rewind.
Yeah.
Before you measure results, how are you getting skin in the game? Let's go from there, because when you are talking about the funnel and then the customer doesn't want to do the funnel, they hire you on. What is your procedure in getting that in place? Because that's the most important right there.
Well, because usually with the whole idea of mentioning the skin in the game, part of it is it's a risk reversal for them, because in some cases, and in very few cases, if we know, and there's a couple of businesses we've done this with, if we know that this business is really underutilized, I mean, we know that if we put in 30 days of work on this,
right,
their revenues are going to go up, 300% just
right,
by doing that. We'll lower our initial funnel costs and even our ongoing, but we don't actually lower the entire cost. I'll tell you how. Let's say we normally do $2,000 a month plus 15%. We might do $500 a month and 40% until that initial $2K is made up.
Nice. Okay.
For funnel costs, if you bring the funnel costs from 15K to 5K, we'll up the initial royalty, so we make back what we would have in the first place. But now the business has to put out less. We're putting in effort. And in some very few cases, we might even put in ad costs and ad spend and JV with them for a little while, because we really believe in the product.
Nice.
We're doing that up front. You're still going to make your money back, and you're going to grow a heck of a lot faster by doing it that way. And I'm telling you, nine times out of 10, I mean, I don't know any other marketing agency that goes out there and says, yeah, I'm going to put in, time, money, and effort, and, as a result, because when they hear that you want a percentage of their business, they know you believe in their business.
Oh yeah, you are about to do some heavy work. You're bringing out the heavy artillery, and if it's a unique business that there's a market out there and it's not tapped, and you got your team that can do it, oh, that's a brilliant idea. Why not?
It works really, really well, man, and it's been working like ridiculously well so far. We've done it with e-commerce, we've done it with physical, we've done it with retail businesses, and every single case they come back and they're like, this is perfect, because everybody's happy, man. You're doing the work. They can see that I don't grow until they grow, and that's a beautiful relationship to have.
That is a beautiful relationship. It's a trust factor as well. You're letting them know that, hey, I'm in this game with you. Let's do this together. I know you have not heard this from many people before, but this is what we're all about. And they haven't heard that from many people before because, you just don't hear that. When you said that in an interview not too long ago, I was like slapping myself going, this SOB is doing something completely different over here, which is good. But we have talked about that. Bill and I have talked about doing that and actually, talking to some of these guys because we always ask for a little small percentage, but we've never ever thought about what you're doing, taking it to the next level, Right. So that's awesome, man. How long does the business normally commit with you guys on that?
For sales funnels, things like that, we usually ask for a 1-year commitment.
Right.
With the ability to back out if they need to, so 60-day out clause if they need to. But sometimes we'll get rid of them. It just depends. If it's not working, we'll end the contract. But that's really only happened once that I know of.
Look at that, my honest man on here. Telling his honesty. I love that.
It'll happen. I mean, it's a numbers game at the end of the day. Sometimes you don't read things right, or the business isn't doing what they need to do, and so be it.
Sometimes. Right.
And so that's the minimum. But then after that, I mean, they pretty much never quit because they're growing. You're helping them grow. It becomes a really nice relationship to the point where you actually get to know them. And a lot of times, marketers will tell you, don't become their friend or don't get to know them or whatever. But in cases like this, where you're only dealing with about maybe 20 or 30 businesses because, they're at a fairly high level,
right,
you're able to give a lot more time to them. And you get to know these people. You get to know them really well. It becomes almost like a partnership down the road. And they don't quit. I've had the very first time we did this was 5 years ago, and they're still around, man.
That's amazing.
Us to about 4 or 5 other companies since then.
Getting some questions on there. Some good questions. I love it. Wait to the end. Wait to the end. Okay. That's awesome. Wow, dude, that's mind blowing, man. I guess I want to ask you, how do you qualify? I know you said that was a whole thing. How do you pre-qualify your businesses? Because this is important because you're not just going to your mom and pop, you're going to the heavy hitters. You see something about these hitters that can actually take it to the next level. So how are you pre-qualifying these guys?
There's lots of ways. I'll mention about 3 that really work, and pretty much anybody can do these. Like these are some of the easier ways you can pre-qualify. Number one, a lot of people say go out there and speak and go out there and talk and all that kind of stuff, and that's great. I mean, I did that initially, and I was speaking at libraries and schools and all these kind of places. I'm like, yeah, I'm in front of 200 people, but they were all broke.
Right.
All broke as well.
Right.
And I couldn't figure it out, and then honestly, after that, I just started looking at the high net worth networking groups out there. Kind of the higher, and like you can go to a BNI chapter in your area or something like that, but you can sort them if you go to the controller in your state or your province and ask them what are the top performing networking groups out here that I can go speak to, and they'll tell you, these groups did $2 million in sales over the last year, so these guys are performing. You go to them and you speak and you tell them about this kind of stuff, and you don't talk about SEO and all that kind of bullshit. You talk about actual automation and systems.
Yes,
stuff I've not heard about. I mean, that's what they want to hear. It's got to be about making their lives easier. It's not about what I can do for you or I'm the great SEO god. It's about, hey, I'm here to automate your marketing, to target it, to make it so that it actually converts. And that's what I do. Come have a chat with me. And you'll pretty much only ever be speaking to high-end businesses. And that right there cuts out all the crap. I mean, you're no longer talking to mom and pop. You know, there's executive associations. The International Executives is a great place to speak. They're looking for people every freaking week, and
Wow.
there's a chapter every city, like every city in the world. They're not a small organization.
Right.
And the international executives, it will get you so much business, will make your head spin, man. So,
Man, you know, I've been trying to tell everyone that there's someone out there looking for you. They are. You just have to find these people. And I think that in our heads, we're behind our computers. We're not trying. We're looking in the wrong places, basically.
yeah,
And they're like you just said, there are associations out there who are needing guys that like us and our viewers to go and help them, you know, take their business to the next level. And we're just missing out because we're so used to doing the norm, you know, and we've
yeah.
got to hit those hitters. Wow.
I mean, heck, another thing you can do, if you're not comfortable with talking to people, not everybody is. You can do this whole shebang online. I mean, look, if you're gonna get into doing sales and marketing funnels for other people, you might as well do them for yourself.
Boom! There it
But you
is.
better do them for yourself, right? You should have an intake funnel.
That's funny you say that because I've had some people way out of different countries I've never even heard of, and they're like, "Hey, sir, would love to do some work for you. This and that. I'm a expert in this. I specialize in this and this and that and that and that." And I said, "Why are you not doing like affiliate products or CPAs if you're so good at that?"
Absolutely, man.
Crickets. I didn't get any answer back from that, you know.
Oh hell no! I mean, I got so many spam emails and calls from SEO companies that don't do SEO on their own stuff, or
Right.
you know, from web design companies that don't have a responsive website. I mean, it's like the hell, man. Like, why are you offering this?
Oh, I like to thank you guys that are joining us now from via Hangout or Periscope. I saw a few people join on. Shouts out to Rochelle. Dude, they're loving this, man, and they're loving the stuff that you are giving us, the content, and I'm getting lots of responses from a lot of people, which is great. So let's continue here because we have a few moments left. How did you make that shift? What made you just completely say, you know what? Everyone is offering SEO. Everyone is offering Facebook ads. Everyone is offering, target marketing. What made you decide that you need to do something different? What was the shift?
That's a good question. What the real shift was just me realizing, like, the fact is, I mean, I've been doing sales funnels for years. I mean, before they were called sales funnels, I just
Right.
public marketing, really. So, I mean, I've been doing it for years, and I just, never really put it together until a specific client was, and we were talking one day, and he said, "Yeah, so we've done some SEO, we've done some pay per click, and we've done some of this, but his copy guys some are in the States, his design guys some are in Pakistan, and I'm like, I'm tired of trying to put all this stuff together, and you haven't got a cohesive sales strategy. What if you let me take it all over, and I will build you an automated process that can actually do all of this, and we'll put SEO in context, we'll put PPC in context, and we'll have specific landers, specific sequences for different target audiences." He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we did it, and I mean, this guy's conversions went up like you don't even want to talk about it. It was ridiculous.
I love it.
It was crazy, and I did that, and I'm like, A, he loved it. Number two, it was freaking easy. It was an easy sell, so to speak. I saw the results, and once I started talking about this on stage, the very first response I ever got when I talked about this on stage, and this was about a week after speaking at the same location about SEO, I talked about sales funnels. The first week I had about 3 or 4 people come up to me out of about 150 people. The second week I had about 80 people surround me and mock me.
I love it, man.
I'm like, obviously this is missing. This is something that people haven't heard of.
Right.
So that's what I did, and I did the same thing with our sales funnels. Instead of talking about our SEO services, I talked about marketing automation. And that clicks with people because automation means you're taking time off of my hands to help me grow my business. Hell yeah, please give me some more.
Wow, we need to structure, family, the terminology here, because the terminology there is amazing and it's impressive, and it also lets them know what you're getting. It is an automated process, which I don't hear. I haven't said that much in my life to a client. You're getting an automated process, but now I have been, and now they're like, oh yeah. And it's true. It's what we do when we have our products. We have to have a sales funnel where, when we do our own stuff. So I get it,
Yeah.
but taking it out to the local world or just in the industry, that is brilliant. That is so brilliant. Yeah, that works. And sometimes, IMers are doing these things, but I don't think they ever thought about doing that for clients,
Yeah.
That's amazing. Huh. Okay. I was telling my wife last night, we were eating dinner, and I was writing down questions, and she was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, my boy's coming on, writing down questions, and she was just talking. I was like, but I was like, I probably won't need these questions because we're just going to chat anyway. Wow. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. If you have any questions for Gaurav, go ahead and start issuing all them right now. I know I've seen a few people here that are just asking questions. I've heard someone responded was wanting to know, I think we went over that. How does he identify his prospects? We went over that, didn't we, kind of?
We did, yeah. We kind of got a little bit sidetracked. I can always go into more detail depending on what they want to know.
Right. Can you go a little bit deeper on that, just for sake?
Yeah.
I have a few questions on that.
I mean, yeah, like we talked about, obviously the whole speaking side of things, but I also started talking about setting up your own funnels, right? And how do you actually get the right people into your own funnel? And what does that even look like? And for us, it's pretty simple. It's just for those of you who are familiar with funnels, it's a simple lead magnet. And in our case, our lead magnet is typically a 3 to 5 step quiz process that they can take. So if it's a restaurant, or if it's, and by restaurant I usually mean higher end restaurants, or if it's a chiropractor, or if it's a landscaper, we've got different intakes for every single industry. And it'll be like a 5-step quiz that they answer about their own landscaping business to give them a quick marketing audit online. It's a survey. If you might
nice.
Ryan Levesque is probably the godfather of survey funnels, right? That's where I learned this from. And they do this little survey. It gives them a little bit of a score at the end, and it then leads them into let's say in this case a landscaping automated webinar that talks about what you need as a landscaper to automate your marketing processes and do them right. From there, they go into a full follow-up sequence and a pre-qualification form for them to actually contact us, because we don't make it easy for them to get it. We don't. Because the honest thing you'll find is the scarcer you make yourself, the more people need to get in touch with you. So there's no numbers on the screen. There's no call me here after my webinar. It's like, no. The next step is I need you to go and read this and do this, fill out this qualification form. And if you qualify, we'll be in touch. People go nuts. They need to fill that form in.
I love it. You are literally getting inside of their head because you want them to take the next step.
Absolutely.
And they're willing to take. They've raised their hand, but then again, you've said no. I want you to raise your hand, and I want you on the edge of the seat, rocking back and forth, really needing me. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Absolutely. And they will. And at that point, there'll be a phone interview, and we'll talk about their business, and I'll find out. Yes, because we reject more than we take on, for a good reason. Because if we're gonna put skin in the game, we need to make sure this business is gonna work, that the business is gonna do what they do, and we need to know their close ratios. We need to know their numbers. And if they're not willing to talk about that, too bad. Move on to the next guy, and so on and so forth. But
you know, that's great information. That is great information to gather for two reasons. One, that lets the business owner knows that you want to see their numbers and you're actually coming in as a consultant at first and showing them what they are missing out on. And it's just for them to recognize what they're doing. Yeah. Two, you can help them, show them where they need to improve in certain areas, you know? Sure. Yep. And that way that it just makes it 10 times easier to make this as a partnership, because it's like you're almost asking for this information just to see if this is something you can do. Otherwise, you're like, this is business going down. I'm not touching it, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you can go somewhere else. I mean, if you want SEO work, there's a ton of agencies out there. Go ahead and you know, do it. You know, we're not going to stop you. But we're only going to work with you if it's a 100% match. And if it is, fantastic. Let's go ahead. Here's the cost. Here's the deposit. Let's go from there. And it's fairly easy. And if you're wondering where you even find some of these guys, you know, how do you target them? That's a question we always get is, you know, how do you target? How do you get the right type of landscaper or the right type of chiropractor? Typically, I mean, if you do a simple intersect using any decent Facebook targeting tool like Quaya, will do this for you. You can do an intersect between landscapers, and either you can do income levels. At least if you're in the States, it's freaking easy. You can't do that here in Canada. But you can also do simply people that are already using high-end IM services. So people that are using Salesforce, people that are paying for Infusionsoft, people that are already paying for some of these high-end marketing platforms and they're not working with them, that you target that intersection, you've got people that are spending $2,000 a month.
That's just too much information right here on this show, brother.
There you go.
That is free. Way too much information right there. Wow. Oh my goodness. That is like, if you missed this episode of Cup of Joe, then something's wrong. I'm sorry. Wow. So we're going to stop right there because you're digging in deep, and obviously you have a lot to offer. I promised you guys that we're going to be on here live. You're going to get something amazing. And from a Gaurav, what do you have for us, man? So we can get that out to them right now so we can, you know, go with the flow on that.
Well, basically, because it's you and only because it's you. Basically opened up access to our foundational courses, the Offline Domination Blueprint. It's for you guys out there that are basically looking to expand your agency to actually run it the right way. You know, so you're looking at, you know, everything from how do I get people to my contract, to contract templates, to email outreach, to what ads work, to what industries work best, to what to say to customers, our guides, everything that we use, our processes internally in our company, you get to copy it, essentially. You get to literally get a blueprint of the initial foundational setup of your business. It's not going to go into the sales funnel side of things, but it'll get you to the point of everything you need to do to be able to sell any offline service effectively. I think it's like I don't know, 4 or 5 hour course that we used to sell. We closed off access a couple of years ago, but open it up for you guys, and it is completely free.
Boom, baby, free. Come on, man.
Seriously, no. I wanted to get
no booze for people like boom.
So this it's a course that we initially sold a couple thousand copies, and I know some of the bigger guys you hear about have launched their businesses based off of this one, and it'll get you really efficient and streamlined. Anything that you're missing in your business will be covered in here. Plus a couple of other bonuses on prospecting and all that kind of stuff is all covered in there. And so go ahead, you can go grab it. It's at reachnexus.com/cupofjoe.
Cup of Joe, baby. reachnexus.com/cupofjoe.
And
somebody's like, wow, what's the link? Well, I'll shoot that link out to you guys here shortly. Once again, that's spell reach. Well, Reach Nexus. That's NEXUS.com/cupofjoe. Cup of Joe. Okay, I'm looking at Periscope. Sorry, you guys out there got that? Amazing. What else is involved in that again? Is that it? Because that's a lot. That was too much right there. But
it's a full course. I mean, the sales page for it was 7 pages.
Wow.
It'll give you a full kind of breakdown on that page of what you get. Is about, like I said, 3.5 or 4 hours of video, about 17 different documents that you get to copy, all our contract templates, our intake.
Oh, that's amazing. Contracts. Wow.
Our scripts that we use, our objection template, everything's in there. Everything that you could possibly need to run a proper agency, what service to offer, where to outsource, your price points, everything's there.
Everything. And that's all for you guys who are live on Periscope as well and who are live on the show. I'm not sure how long I'll keep that even. Well, I'm going to have to, I'll figure something out. I will figure something out. It's going to be a cutoff. Trust me. Wow. So, Gaurav, how can we reach you? How can, I mean, besides that website, how can we reach you in case we need more additional information from you? Because I've already had a few people saying, I've got to get a hold of this guy. Shouts out to Michael Howard, by the way. I joined you two together in a chat group, and Michael was really blown away with your knowledge and all that. And that right there, I knew you had some knowledge. But when Michael Howard came on and said it, I was like, yeah, that's my boy. How can we reach you, man? Is there another way we can get in touch with you?
Probably best couple of ways to get in touch with me are you can always reach me on Facebook. I'm always there, pretty much, as Lem knows. So he messages me at 2 in the morning.
He's not on there all the time, y'all. Don't get it twisted.
So maybe that's one way, and the other way is you can always reach my email. My personal email is Gaurav, Gaurav, @reachnexus.com. Just shoot me off an email and have to chat.
We'll have that on the Saturday Cup of Joe. You can go back and watch the previous episodes. You'll see in his bio. We'll leave that contact information there as well, that you can go and get a hold of him. Yeah, this has been great, man. I know if I keep talking, we're gonna go overboard, but I usually go an hour, and I'm already at 9:52. And I'm like, well, I had one more question, and I was like, but I'm not gonna do it because this is just. I'm just gonna stop right here because that's been amazing content you've been giving us, man. I appreciate you coming on here. I didn't think he was gonna do that much, though. Wow.
That's the problem, man. You get me talking, having a cup of Joe in the morning, I'll keep going.
You were asleep, and now you're like, your blood's flowing. You're like, yeah, here we go. That's good. Amazing. So, what advice do you give some of our listeners out here who has tried all the different things and they're almost there, but they just need that little extra? What would you, advise to them?
Honestly, it's stick to one thing and systemize it. That's the big piece of advice. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, there's, like I said, at one point we were at 108 services, and it was driving me crazy. And that's because I was doing way too much. I mean, yeah, we had the contacts and we had the agencies and the partnerships, but it was freaking nuts trying to juggle all that kind of stuff. If you've got simple, one message, one audience, one service, systemized, that's it. It's the power of one. That's it, man.
That's awesome. Well, guys, you've heard it from the man himself. You can reach out to him, Facebook. We're going to have the information in the chat. And once again, go to nexus.com reachnexus.com /Cup of Joe. Of course, if you're inside of our Cup of Joe group, you're going to get that real quick. I'll have that posted for you. I'm not sure how long he's going to have that up, but it's a free gift blueprint that you cannot go without. Of course, I'll be grabbing that blueprint. I probably already have it. I already have been begging him for stuff for years, And I appreciate you, man. I really do. I need to try to make a trip where we need to try to plan to get together in the next event or something, or I need to see you on stage or wherever you're going. I need to keep in touch so I can get there. And I know that'd be an amazing time. So you guys have been blessed with some awesome knowledge today. I hope you take it out there in the world and build your business. Make something out of whatever you're doing here. I mean, this stuff is amazing. This is like one of the best cover Joes I've ever done because of the stuff you're telling us is completely different from what we've been hearing, you know. And I'm glad you're here to share that. And I've got people who are really wanting to connect with you, buddy. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everyone from my guests. You can always go to SaturdayCupOfJoe.com. Click on the microphone if you have a message, and I will get back to you. I thank all you guys for the kind comments. I thank you all for not having any hate mails or no haters. I wish I had more haters. I need to start doing some harder stuff, I guess, because you know. But you know what? That's what it is. Anyway, I'm blessed that everyone has been nice in my group, so it's all good. Go back and watch this replay. Take your notes, guys. Wow. And get that blueprint because this is fabulous. Reach out to Gaurav Duggal. He's going to help you if you need him. He's there. He's available. Real quick, who has been your inspiration in the industry?
One guy?
Let's pick out one guy right now. Your top, I know that's one guy. We can't do one guy. Let's just name a few.
I'll name a few that I really, really look up to.
There you go.
One of the guys I look up to the most is actually Tim Castleman.
Tim Castleman, shouts out.
He took me under his wing a few years ago to kind of streamline things for me, and I think he's probably the biggest influence because he's probably the most straight and honest people out there. He will respect you, but he will do it with love.
Right. He is straight and honest. Yes.
Yeah. So he's probably one of them. I mean, there's Ryan Dice. He's kind of the guy who really got us on the whole funnel marketing thing and really got us focusing in that direction.
Right.
Levesque for his ability to be able to get anything out of people. I mean, that guy's a master. He's a neuroscience major. The stuff that he'll teach you will just freaking blow your mind.
I probably wouldn't understand what he was saying. He was talking.
He's a good guy. Frank Kern's great. You know, he's always been an influence ever since '03, since I started. And probably Russell Brunson's another good guy that I follow. Ben Atkins. I mean, there's a lot of people out there.
That's out, Dr. Ben. Yep. Awesome.
Ryan McKinney, that whole group that spoke at the breakout were phenomenal.
Yep.
So, there's a few people.
That's good, man. That's good. That's about almost. I mean, I know who Kern is, but I've never followed him. But I know some people who don't even know him, and that blows me. I'm like, you don't know him? How can you not know him? He's like the godfather of marketing. Really?
Yeah.
All right, brother, man. It's been a pleasing pleasure. Yeah, I took that from you. You know who you are. And it's been great, man. Thank you once again for coming on here. I know you didn't have to. I know you're busy. You're a very awesome guy, man. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this. And guys, take him up on that free. Man, you can't go wrong with that. That being said, brother, have a great day, man. Go find your wife because I'm sure she's out there pedaling away.
Probably, yeah.
All right, Gaurav, thanks you, man, for joining us, man.
All right.
All right, we'll see you, brother.